Before I did any work for Kind, I read an essay that Wendy Young and Megan McKenna wrote on how we treat children and how we should treat children in our system, and how we need to keep the best interests of children always at the forefront of our mind, even when the best interests of the children aren't at the forefront of the laws that we deal with.
I've been working with Kind for over 10 years now, and when I first started working with them, it was a great organization, clearly had a really good mission, and at that time was, I would say somewhat established in that they were certainly working with many children that needed assistance and placing them with law firms to help them through their immigration proceedings.
When we first started working with Kind, we were always supported by Kind and still are to this day. But for the attorneys and for me personally, who was working with someone, it was all new. Immigration law was new, and particularly working with children and children who are unaccompanied. So it was great to have Kind support, which we've had all throughout.
Kind has expanded significantly over the last 15 years, but they've expanded in response to the needs that they've seen in the jurisdictions around the world where unaccompanied minors are fleeing danger.
So originally I worked only with, the case managers out of the Boston office, and since then I've done some higher profile cases that sort of challenge laws across the country, and I have really been impressed with how Kind has taken on broader issues in addition to representing individual children.
My first Kind client that I took on, we were originally planning to apply for asylum for her, and we actually got rejected for our asylum claim. And it was something that was very scary for the client, but luckily, because of Kind's expertise, we had identified another avenue of immigration relief that we could pursue for her. And we ended up pursuing special immigrant juvenile status, and that was ultimately successful. So now that client has a work permit, she will be eligible for a green card in a few years. She just graduated high school. I've stayed in touch with her from her whole journey through high school and the ups and the downs of her immigration case. And now she's enrolled in community college, and one day she wants to be a nurse.
As Kind has grown, they've recruited incredible attorneys and built a team that we trust. We know that they will be there with us in the trenches when we take on these sometimes challenging cases, and we're immensely grateful for their support.
Some of the most rewarding aspects about working with Kind and their clients, for me personally, is as a Latina, I really enjoy being able to help what turns out to be many Latino children who need support and need assistance. And I'm really happy to be able to lend my skills, whether they are language or legal skills, to such an amazing cause.
Working with Kind and working on cases with unaccompanied minors makes you a better lawyer in so many ways. There are skills that you have to develop in order to be able to appropriately represent your client in this context that are applicable across the board.
I think it's important to continue partnering with Kind because it stands for things that should be beyond any partisan divisions we have, and that all human beings should support, and that is the children who are unaccompanied and defenseless and who are coming into this country need to be treated with compassion, with understanding. We need to have adult support for them.
In my view, it's been really important and continues to be important for Goodwin Procter to partner with Kind in that it gives us the opportunity to have direct impact on individual children's lives.
Looking ahead in the next 15 years, I would say no matter the obstacles that come in the course of the work that you're doing, please push on, because you are representing voices that may not have anyone else representing them and anyone else at their side. So please continue on in your mission.
So congratulations to Kind on 15 years of making a real difference in the world. I'm really proud to have been associated with you and watch you grow. I wish we could say that 15 years in there was less of a need for this work, but I think there's more of a need. And I hope that Kind continues to make a huge difference and that law firms partner with Kind to be able to help with that effort.
We started with Kind when they were essentially a startup company, and now, after the first 15 years and all the success that you guys have had, it's, from my perspective, really the movement is just beginning, and you're entering the growth phase, and that can be, you know, the most exciting phase.
Life is too short not to be working on the most controversial issues of our day. And what is notable is the challenge to make sure that children are treated fairly, that children are protected in our legal system. It was a challenge 15 years ago. It's a challenge today. We need to not be deterred by inaction or division in our politics. We need to keep doing the right thing for the children, and that's what we're doing.